What will you do to help farmers and other small businesses in western Pennsylvania? And also, what do you think is the most important issue facing Pennsylvania today?
Okay, first of all, when it comes to farmers, people ask me all the time questions about farm subsidies. And I got to tell you, I grew up on a farm. In fact, our dealership is built on the front of our farm. The biggest challenge facing farmers today is not as much the subsidies, it's the death tax. We're looking at a situation that is really, it could be a catastrophe. Farms that have been in the family for generations are not going to be able to be kept in the families because the death taxes are expiring. We're going to have to come up with a lot of money to pay those off. So we have to either sell all the farm or part of the farm and keep it in the family. The second part of the question is about John. The second part of the question was small businesses.
And the second part of the business question was how would you propose to help small businesses and small farmers and other small businesses?
Yeah, well, the small business, because I am a small business person. Not physically, but the business is considered a small business. Listen, I got to tell you, the number one problem in trying to run a small business today is the overreach of government. And I got to tell you, now the new healthcare bill, we're going to have to hire somebody to go through all the outside vendors that we use because there's a threshold here of $600. You spend $600, they're going to an audit you. Now, you know what the healthcare bill did create 16,000 jobs, 16,000 auditors. Because what the government is really good at with small businesses is over-regulating you and coming in and telling you that you somehow made a mistake. It's an adversarial relationship. I'd like to see people start come into my business and tell me how to navigate the bad times, how to get through the bad times to get to the good times. Not come in and tell me, hey, I got to charge you back for something you did wrong. That's not creating jobs. That's not helping small business. That is hindering us. Overreach, overregulation, and overtaxing. Corporate taxes, second highest corporate tax in the world, right here in the United States. Only behind Japan, who does not have an outstanding economy either. So let's start looking at where we do get the jobs from. Let's start looking at where the economy will heal. It'll heal at the smallest level, and that is small businesses, people that create jobs, and that is people like me and you.
When I was running 2 years ago, I would go out to the rural areas of our district. And you know, actually agriculture is the #1 industry in our district. I don't know if you know that, if you live right here in Sharon, or if you live in Hermitage, or if you live in Erie, Riley, or Butler, but agriculture is the #1 industry in our region. And the people who were in agriculture felt so disenfranchised. It was really interesting to me as I would go out, and actually disheartening, how disenfranchised they felt. So what I did, when I got honored, is I asked to be on the agriculture committee. And before I was on there was only one representative from the Northeast, Tim Holden out of the Harrisburg area. One person representing the Northeast, all of our farmers who have specific issues that are much different, let me tell you, from the Iowa corn and cattle people, or the people out west, or the people to the south. Very different issues. So I'm very proud to be there and serving the agriculture community of this district. And I'll tell you what, one of the biggest issues that come in front of me, dairy prices. We have a lot of dairy farmers who've been struggling, who've actually had to spend their life savings to keep up this year, or last year more than this year even, because of the low price of dairy. And we are working hard with the Secretary to try to fix that problem. Not for this year, not for next year, but for the long term, because this is something dairy farmers have been dealing with forever. These up and down prices. But I want to address the death tax, but this is state tax, whatever you want to call it. Last year, it was $3.5 million for a single, $7 million for a couple. Now, I can tell you, in the 3rd District of Pennsylvania, even if you have a large farm here, you were going to be okay with just a little bit of tax planning. You'd be perfectly fine. And everybody was comfortable with it. We voted in the House to extend that to this year. We didn't get that done on the Senate side, unfortunately. So it went back to 0 this year. And next year, because of the policies that were put in place 10 years ago, it's going to go to $1 million. Now that will affect farmers. So we need to make a positive change and get this estate tax to a level where it will affect very few people. And at that $3.5 million to $7 million, 600 people across the country in 1 year. But farmers are hurting in many, many ways, and I'm just very, very proud to be on the Agriculture Committee and helping them through the issues that they deal with every day as they struggle to feed all of us.
And I do appreciate that, and we all know the death tax, and we know exactly what it means to us. And we keep talking about these things, and I got to tell you, the reason we have a death tax is because the government spends too much. But the issue is, you've got a government that's grown so big that it needs to take more out of your pocket to fund it. This furnace needs more coal than we can possibly supply. All I'm saying to you is, think past, listen, there's the old saying out there, if you can't convince them, confuse them. I'm going to tell you right now, it comes down to dollars and cents. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your money. It is coming out of your pocket and going to the government. All they're doing is redistributing it. I don't care if you're a farmer or if you're a car dealer. The problem is overtaxing and overregulation.